Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Cassius Cuvée, and we live today on the come up. Man, we got a big show today. We're going to be looking at the charts. Bitcoin just popped as soon as I woke up this morning. I got a new banger for y'all. We got a new contest. We got to shout out the contest winners in a minute. I'm going to let everybody join in the chat. But this is the come up with your boy Cassius Cuvée every Sunday at noon Pacific time. Man, tell me how to chat. Let me know how that music is in the background. But in the meantime, actually, I got a little context. I got an older music video that I want to play called Ride My Own Wave. It's actually just a lyrics video. We're going to play that for a minute while we let everybody join. This one is a throwback. It's my first Cassius Cuvée EP back in 2020. I released it right before the pandemic. But this one right here, man. This one right here was this one. This is one of my favorite ones. It was my first time ever using auto-tune. So I'm gonna get this one started while we let everybody join here real quick because we got a big show today. Bitcoin's popping, but are we topping? That's the question. But here we go. We just gonna, Cassius Cuvée is always riding his own wave. So we're gonna give a quick shout out to the chat. And I don't know we got last week's winner in the house, Kalechi. So shout out to Kalechi. He won. I announced it last week. I should say he was the week before. He was the first contest winner. We're gonna let it marinate for a minute though. I've been riding my own wave, baby.
My stones really be diamonds. I'm really in Caribbean islands, moving them things in silence. And I don't know about you, but I've been pulling all nighters. Daytime training with fighters. Ain't fucking.
Make sure you vote in the contest in the chat. I should say not the contest in the poll in the chat. Make sure you vote. We're gonna be looking at Ethereum today, Bitcoin, and all the altcoins.
Couple white girls named Heather, and I don't know about you, but I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave, and I don't know about you, but I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave, and I don't know about you, but I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave, and I don't know about you.
Look at that scam wick. ETH did not hold up. We're gonna get to the charts in a second. Damn near legal.
And I don't know about you, but I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave. And I don't know about you, but I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave.
I've been riding my own wave, y'all. And I'm only riding with wave makers.
I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave. I've been riding my own wave. And I don't know about you, but
Yo, we jumping into it now. Yo, we got Blockchain Cowboy in the house. I got to give a quick shout out to the chat, but specifically Blockchain Cowboy was the winner of last week's contest. Kalechi was the week before that. So we got our prizes coming for you. I realized I learned some things. I'm learning all the compliance and certain things I shouldn't be saying on YouTube. But if you're in the Discord, private Discord, that's where we can speak more freely. We're going to talk about the contest winners, what they get, you feel me? And, we got more contests coming. We got some fun stuff coming, too. But, man, these markets are going hard, man. And I got a new banger for you guys. I'm just giving a few minutes for everybody to join here. First of all, I got to say, per usual, it's not financial advice. Everything I say are my opinions. Trading has risks. On the screen, you see affiliate discount codes. I am an affiliate, which means I can get a small commission if you guys use my code to sign up. However, you get a discount when you use Breakout Prop. Discount code that's on the screen, or Phemex. You use that and you can get special bonuses. So anyways, man, we're going to get right into it, man. We woke up this morning. Tell me how the background music is real quick. One time, you guys in the chat. I got a banger for y'all. I got a banger. Halfway through the show, when we get everybody's attention, I'm going to release this one for you. I swear to God, they're getting better and better. You feel me? You feel me? All right, look. I'm excited, man. Look. Woke up this morning and all this was green. I'm getting ready for the show, and then all this turns red. And that's what ETH will do to you, right? And that's Bitcoin even do the same thing. So full disclosure right off the top, just so you guys know, I'm shorting right now, right? So everybody in my private Discord knows that I'm shorting. I just want to make it clear. So if anybody's not in my private Discord group, you can join for free. All you got to do is free for 1 year, okay? It's free for 1 year. I'm doing this for the first 50 people. I haven't been doing it that long, but I got some real ones in there, and I got real traders in there. And the way we keep out the riffraff and we keep it clean and we keep it for real traders is I have this one little gatekeep where all you got to do is create a Phemex account using my referral code right there on the screen, GMMNX5. It's an invite code, and basically what happens is you get a free, it doesn't cost you anything. You create a free Phemex account, you deposit some money in there so you can trade, and then you use your user ID in my Discord, and then that will allow you to join for free for 1 year. So make sure you do that. Everybody in the chat, I think, is in the Discord right now. King's Mentality, what's popping? Matt Edema, what's popping, y'all? And, I show a lot of love to my Discord, as you guys will see later. But, I'm in there every day, morning, noon, and night. Every time I wake up, I'm in the Discord. So we're going to look at the charts. And, the funny thing is this is playing out almost exactly like I thought it might. Okay? Bitcoin popped this morning, right? And what do I always say? My chat knows what I always say. Go long strength and short weakness, right? That's what I always say, right? And I'm kind of living it right now, because what happens is, I'll even pull up Breakout prop and show you. What happens is you end up potentially opening a position too early, right? Like using my strategies and my system, and we'll go over that. Of course, we're going to go over that on TradingView. But a lot of times I can see a trend reversal coming, and what happens is I might get in a little bit early. Okay, and so this is where you use bankroll management, you stop losses, etc. But also, I'm shorting weak tickers when I decide to short, okay? So I'm not shorting Bitcoin. Bitcoin's near and dear to my heart, okay? Bitcoin is not the one you want to short. Bitcoin is strong as hell. But these altcoins and these S-coins, they do not cooperate. They're not as strong as Bitcoin. There are a lot of hype coins, And so what you can do is find the ones that are trimming relatively bearish. So like in the Discord, I have channels. One is for the relatively bullish tickers versus the relatively bearish tickers. And so what happens is it saves me at a time when like maybe there's reversals coming, but because usually there's a scam wick, right? You see a scam wick here before things drop. And will this turn into the big scam wick here before things drop? I don't know. But if you notice, Bitcoin hadn't been dropping that much, but some of these other coins have been dropping. This one had dropped. It came all the way back up too. But if you look, like this line is where I entered in Breakout prop. I didn't get stopped. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Shiba Inu. Here's another one. I'm in all these pretty much. I'm in a lot of coins, either in Phemex or in Breakout prop. And just kind of a little clarification. Breakout prop is where for $800 or so, roughly $800, or you can get $100,000 of a bankroll account, so you can trade with a large amount of money. So it's a prop firm, and basically what that means is you buy an evaluation for for $800. I heard they might be changing that price, but you buy an evaluation, and then basically you can get up to a $100,000 bankroll. So now you have a bankroll account. You got to pass their evaluation test, which means you got to get 10% before you lose 6% or before you lose 4% in a day. But basically, once you pass that, then you basically have $100,000 to trade with, and you can withdraw every day. So Breakout prop is pretty cool if you don't have a lot of money and you want to try to use a bigger bankroll, and that's why I have that on the screen here, GGRF7W. That is my discount code. So when you purchase the evaluation, you get some money off if you use that discount code, and I get a small commission as an affiliate. But that's Breakout prop. But the thing about Breakout prop is they don't have all the altcoins. They don't have all of them. They got a lot of them. Don't get me wrong. They got a lot of them, but they don't have everything. And that's where Phemex comes in. Phemex has hella coins, right? So you see I'm in here in Nero, some small altcoin that's not in Breakout prop. And you see I entered this short right before the show. You can see that little arrow right there. Let's see if this one works out, y'all. I entered this short right here, okay? It looked like I think I caught a good entry. If I get stopped, it gets stopped. Like if that was the top, then that was the top. You feel me? So anyways, this is Phemex. And that's where you can get all those little coins, right? So, I'm in a bunch of shorts right now in Phemex, right? And I was kind of early on some of them, but the thing is, a lot of them are down. And so when Bitcoin pumped, I didn't get wrecked. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, right? So ZK, I'm actually in this one in Breakout prop as well. I'm going to show you guys that. But the general premise, okay, and we can go into very specific strategy and market cipher and all the indicators and stuff in a second here. But the general premise is, let me pull up ZK here. The general premise is, because I'm trying to short weak tickers instead of strong tickers, when there was a pump, I didn't get wrecked. You see what I'm saying? I was even prepared to average down on this one right here. You can see I have a limit set. But basically, I had some wiggle room, right? So granted, this said $3,000. I was up $3,000 in profit in breakout prop. Coulda, woulda, shoulda taken profit last night, perhaps. I called it out in my Discord. My Discord group will tell you. I said, look, I even put a screenshot of how much I was up. You know what? I can even show you. In the Discord. I put a screenshot of how much I was up, and what did I say? I said, basically, I'm still bearish, but if we get a pump, I have the wiggle room because this is a swing trade. This is not a scalp, okay? So I'm like, I'm still bearish. Did I put in a strategy? Let me see, market analysis. So, okay, here it is. So the market analysis channel is where I put like more of the charts and stuff, and then the general chat is where we talk to each other. And everybody in the group can also contribute. So if you're new to the Discord, we've got some experienced traders in there. And here's the thing. I like to call them the wave makers. And that's why I played that music video at the beginning of this, Riding My Own Wave. Because my Discord is full of wave makers, and I only rock with wave makers myself. You guys are going to see me at the Bitcoin conference. So my crew, we're a bunch of wave makers in there. You know what I'm saying? And basically, my Discord is, it's the circle of it's the come up circle, but really it's the profit circle. You feel me? What we're trying to do is get the name to stick out there. You feel me? So we're going to call it the circle of gains. You feel me? Because in my group, we got a lot of people making gains. So we the wave makers in the circle of gains. And that's what I'm talking about when every time I jump on here and I give a shout out to my wave makers. That's who I'm talking about, my folks in the private group. So as you can see, I posted this. I was up a little bit more than I am now. But then when we come back to breakout prop, I'm headed back in the right direction. You feel me? So, I'm back at 2,100 already. That was like less than 1,000, like a couple hours ago, And so what I said was, I didn't get stopped out of anything, right? So I said, I'm giving myself some wiggle room because I'm shorting weakness. You see what I'm saying? So when Bitcoin pumped, right? Because Bitcoin is strong as hell. Bitcoin pumped all the way back to 105, above 105K. What is that? Almost 106,000, okay? And it's coming back down. Now, was that the top? Was that the scam wick? I don't know for a fact, but I'll tell you what, it's better than getting stopped out, right? If I had been shorting Bitcoin, I would have been probably stopped, or I wouldn't have made no gains, right? So that's the thing. I'd rather be rich than right. You feel me? And so, like, if I'm shorting weak tickers, and man, I was in some good ones and got stopped out. It happens. I was hours early on. I think it was like Tuesday. And so basically, if you go long strong tickers, when the upswing comes, you get the better benefit of it. But if you're wrong, it doesn't crush you like immediately. And you can easily figure this out by watching this is recent price action. So these are recently relatively bearish or recently relatively bullish. And I have the tickers inside, I have the channels for them inside my private Discord where I'll list them. And so you guys don't have to study them all. I got a long list of tickers here, like a long list. So I'm always sniffing through like pretty much every day, 7 days a week. I'm looking at these damn tickers. And I'm going to call out the ones that I'm noticing. And they kind of, they interchange, but a lot of them just been staying bearish. This is a bearish ticker right here, APT. Oh, my God. You can see, look at this scam. I got stopped. I was mad at myself for this one because I got stopped out right here on this one. And that's enough to pass an eval and breakout prop. Okay, so here's where we are, though. Bitcoin strong sideways. ETH finally turned slightly bearish, right? You can see relative to itself, it's down, even though Bitcoin's up. But as I go through these altcoins, I'm thinking pumps on these S coins are whack. You know what I'm saying? Now, Tron's a little bit different animal. I'm taking a little bit of a risk on this one. I felt like this one was kind of in a trading range. I like to have a diversified portfolio, you guys, when I'm trading, even swing trades or whatever. And the reason is because kind of the same idea. I'd rather be rich than right. You might get stopped out of one, and then, might be a big opportunity on the one you're not expecting. That happened to me on BCH. This one, see, it had its epic pump, and I got in early. I'm still in it. And everything else kind of kept pumping, and it stayed down. So, I like being diversified a bit. But, some of these real small tickers, like Alice is not taking over the crypto world. My favorite, Degen, volatile as hell. This is one, okay, so they don't have this in breakout prop anymore. Degen is in Phemex, though. And you want to use low leverage on it just because it's so volatile, you guys. So when you lower the leverage, it's going to make your dollar amount bigger. So basically just use a smaller dollar amount as well, just because it's such a volatile ticker that you can get stopped out so quick. So you can use lower leverage. I got 5x leverage on it, a 5x leverage on DGen right now. It's really not a lot because it's so volatile. And I got a high stop above this because I'm like, I think that was the top. So that's my DGen strategy right now. 10x on some, 15x on others. If you think you caught the great entry, if you think you really there, okay. Here's the thing. You can do it with a tight stop loss if you want. If you want to go higher, so I've done it a lot of times, like 25x or 50x on bigger coins, and like you just do a tight stop loss. You get stopped, no problem. Maybe you just got to sit there and watch it because maybe you want to re-enter. Like you think you're about to catch the top. You feel me? But then what happens is you're like, oh, I got stopped. And so you sit there and you wait and you watch. Now, most of the time, it's better to just be patient. I'm not against watching the charts. I actually like scalping a lot, you guys. I just haven't been recently. I've been running around doing stuff, making more content. But I got to say that I'm feeling like we're at the top of a trend, which is why I'm in these shorts right now, and I'm just holding them, and I survived this morning, right? I did survive this morning. If I had been wrong, most of these, actually, you can see down here, I have some open positions. I was prepared to average down on them, but they didn't trigger. Nothing triggered. I'm still was green on everything. You see what I'm saying? And that's because these are weak tickers. But, man, if this had been Bitcoin, I would have been cooked, right? So we're going to see if this is the scam wick or is this the sign of super strength. Here, let me go back to the trading view. Is this the scam wick or is this the sign of super strength that's about to come? Now, I got to give a shout out to my man Vince. He texted me about a half an hour before the show started. I said, Vince, join the live stream. He says he thinks we're looking at a bull flag on Bitcoin. I'm not sure if I see it. I want him to join the live stream so I can see what he's referring to. He thinks we make new all-time highs. I'm not sure if I believe that. You feel me? I'm looking at it like I'm thinking we're due, and I'll tell you why. So here's the thing. If I zoom out a little bit here, I'm on the 2-day, right? We already got the red dot into a 2-day. Now, this is flat, right? 3-day. Oftentimes, when I talk about this, what happens is you get your dot, especially after a really bullish period. It takes a while for this to reverse. But then you get that one more wick up, and then that drop of that scam wick causes the momentum to the downside. If it didn't feel like it broke through, then the buyers were like, I don't think so. And then the bears step in and start pushing downward. Now, again, I'm not shorting Bitcoin. I don't need Bitcoin to drop hella much for the altcoins to drop. I want to look at Ethereum today because Ethereum is the one that's been kind of leading the alts, as you would think it would. It's just been bearish so much. But it was relatively bullish during this run-up. It was outperforming Bitcoin. And this was Tuesday. So first Monday is when Bitcoin hit its peak, which was this day. Monday, right here. Ethereum had that run up when Bitcoin did this run up, Ethereum did this run up and made its new high. And that's when I started feeling the feeling of, okay, we're a little bit over our skis. That's when I actually got stopped out on my on those first on those first ones that I showed you here, this one here. It was this run up here that I got stopped out. I could have, would have, should have re-entered. I had some stuff going on then and see it the next morning. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm in Phemex though. I'm in it in Phemex, just not in Breakout prop. And so basically, what I'm getting at is that now Ethereum's relatively bearish, and there's no better example than just what happened a couple hours ago, right? This is the 1-hour chart on Ethereum. Ethereum tried to break up. So this line is the CME gap line. So when the weekend started, is this blue line right here. Bitcoin had its blue line, right? So this is so easy to tell who's relatively bullish or bearish. And I already put it in the channel that ETH was relatively bearish after that Tuesday pump. And so basically, Bitcoin didn't drop below that much of the CME gap, but then boom, it shot up. But now Ethereum, it tried to fight up and back down. So it's been bearish. And to me, that's a sign for the altcoin sentiment, right? Bitcoin back at 105, it's almost like we didn't even have this tariff drop, But that is not the case for all the altcoins that their all-time highs are, of this cycle was way up here. A lot of these are way, this one you can't even see it. Tron's been strong. I think I'm going to take profit on this blue line here on Tron if it hits there. This one, see what I'm saying? This one follows Ethereum pretty tightly, and it will pump when Ethereum pumps, EIGN. But look, this is where we were in December of 24. We ain't even close to coming back up there. But Bitcoin is, right? So Bitcoin is strong, and so when I say go strong or go long strong or short weakness, I'm talking about relative to Bitcoin, but like relative to itself versus Bitcoin's relative to itself. That's the key point I'm trying to make on that. So like over, since December, this ticker is not strong. compared to Bitcoin. Now, usually when I'm putting them in the channel, I'm talking about the last few days, last week. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at when I'm in the channel talking about that. And once Ethereum turned relatively bearish, a lot of the other coins did too. Shiba Inu's been bearish. Now, it did get a pretty big pump over its weekend day, but not compared to where it was up on this peak here. You see what I'm saying? This is a few days ago, right? This is that Tuesday. This is Monday. And yeah, even on that Tuesday, that's when I noticed Shiba, by the way. This is when I noticed Shiba Inu started becoming bearish. It pumped. It peaked when Bitcoin peaked. But then when we had that run up and Ethereum peaked right here on Tuesday, it did not. And that's when I was like, okay, Shiba's underperforming. So if I want to go short, I'm going to short Shiba Inu as one of the ones that's on my list. That's how I was looking at it. Let's see, ZK actually stronger than Shiba. Again, diversified. This is kind of an anomaly ticker. I just love to short it because it's so volatile, but you guys got to do bankroll management on that one really closely. My neighbor Alice kind of follows the ETH. It's an ETH token. This is my favorite short, and I didn't even get it big on Breakout Prop. I missed it by this much. But kind of the same deal. But Shiba Inu clearly did not pump back up to here. So that's why I knew it was bearish, and that's why I went it. That's why I shorted it. This is another one. Followed ETH up. What do we got? Stacks. Now, this is a Bitcoin token, and Bitcoin at first, remember when it was relatively bearish to bullish, I should say, Bitcoin was relatively bearish to ETH, but then when that reversal came, Stacks was relatively bearish to Bitcoin. It had this big pump up, and it's back down. So I am shorting Stacks, STX. You can see it on Breakout Prop. I think I'm in Breakout Prop and on Phemex on this right now. Didn't have a big position on it, but just that strength this morning was, if that ain't a Sunday head fake, I don't know. You know why I think it happened, you guys? I'm going to keep it real with you. The reason why I think this happened is because every single time there's good news on the weekend, like from Trump or the administration or whatever, they release it on a Sunday. Right? Remember last Sunday? And then it was like a couple Sundays before that. Every time they release some good news, it happens on a Sunday, right? And so what I think is maybe this was some anticipation for good news. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Put in the chat if there was some news that I don't know about that caused this pump. I really was getting this live stream ready, so I wasn't searching the news. But, I feel like people were anticipating that maybe we get a Sunday pump, a Sunday news, and maybe it didn't come, and then that's why all this stuff is falling back down again. Yes, suits. Clay says, happens on a Sunday when the suits are out at home. Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is this. I got to talk about this, too. The NASDAQ on Friday, I can't believe I didn't open with this. On Friday, the NASDAQ, so look at this. This is the 1 hour chart, okay? And this is NQ1 exclamation point, shows me the E-minis futures, which basically shows me the after hours for the NASDAQ. And this was the NASDAQ during the day, right? You can see 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I'm on the Pacific time, so the market closes at 1 o'clock. This is noon. What happened was they made an announcement right after the bell. If I zoom in, you can see it here. I'll zoom in here. So this blue is after hours. This dark blue is after hours. This when there's not highlighted blue, is the purple or whatever. This is during the session, right? So this is 6:30 a.m., and this is all the way till 13:10, which is, 13 is right here, 1 a.m., right? 1 p.m. So technically, there was a green day in the NASDAQ, but then they announced a downgrade of the U.S. credit. Moody's now announced a downgrade of U.S. credit score, and so right when that news hit, which is right here about 13:45, which is about 1:45 my time, it tanked the NASDAQ after hours, and NASDAQ after hours doesn't go for very long. So it basically gave back all of its gains of the day in, like an hour or something after hours for the NASDAQ. And at first I was like, well, listen, if crypto, I can't say just because the NASDAQ goes up, crypto go up, but if the NASDAQ falls, crypto will fall. Now, crypto had been underperforming. We had the initial front run of Bitcoin, front run the NASDAQ, but then this last week, Bitcoin and crypto started trading sideways to down, and the NASDAQ has actually been holding up strong. So I was like, shit, right? This is the daily on the NASDAQ. And nothing but green candles. But what happened was with that, so I thought maybe we go into the weekend and maybe crypto might have a pump. But then when that news dropped and it gave back everything after hours on the NASDAQ, it made me kind of more bearish again. Remember, I was already in some shorts. So I wasn't in panic mode because I was like, ew, and I told my man, I said, oh, man, maybe you were bullish for a minute, but now this little slap in the face kind of slaps it down. So we're going to see on Monday. Weekends are always tricky, but, that might be a bad sign. I'm not saying that news is like the end-all be-all for the markets, but just as far as momentum's concerned, that slapping the NASDAQ down is not a great sign for crypto. And so, it feels like Bitcoin tried to have its pump on a Sunday front run, get a little Momo here, catch some shorts with their pants down. But I don't know. It's not holding up strong. So let's see how this goes. Okay. So now, I haven't even talked about Market Cipher yet. So Market Cipher B, this is my go-to right here on the bottom here. This is the oscillator, okay? These big blue waves are the momentum waves. These are what I'm looking at to see momentum, and they're on every time frame. And so what I like to do for a trend change, if I'm saying trend, I mean like a weekly trend, week 1 or 2 week trend. I like to look at the 8-hour chart. Okay, like these are like, if I'm swing trading, I'm usually looking at the 8-hour chart. So this is Bitcoin, right? Same thing as always. Bitcoin is more bullish, been flat to pump, compared to the altcoins, right? And the 8-hour chart is kind of been up and down a little bit here, compared to, this big move we had right here, right? But the thing about it is now nothing is getting an epic pump on the 8-hour chart. So when I'm looking at Ethereum, same deal. Oh, and this is what I want to talk about also in the 8-hour. This right here. We talked about this in the private group. I can't remember if it was Matt or Blockchain Cowboy or something, where it was like, we start getting these waves. It looks like a bear div right here, right? Where you got a higher high. Here, I'll show you. So if you guys don't know what a bullish divergence or a bearish divergence is, a bullish divergence is when in this case, I was looking for a bearish divergence is when price is making a higher high, and then, but then the oscillator, the momentum waves are making a lower low, right? So here comes down to here. So when you're here, you think, okay, we might have got the bear dip, but what happened was price action didn't get that weak, and you get what I call this a silly slide, where it starts doing these silly slide like at the carnival or whatever, right? And that's actually, it's kind of like a false flag. It looks like it's going to be a divergence, and then oftentimes it's not. And someone else was in the group, in the private group, said the same thing. And I was like, yeah, I noticed that. So I actually, and which was what led me to call it out in the group, was that when you start seeing these silly slides, sometimes you'll get one more pump before there's actual trend change. And that's why I'm not shocked about this pump, which is why I said, okay, instead of taking profit, I'm going to hold tight. I'm going to hold firm and see if that one pump is the scam wick before the reversal. So that silly slide, oh man, it can fake you out because at first it looks like a bear dip. But here's the thing: if you didn't get the big old crash, it looked like we were getting one here at first. But then when it bounced, I'm like, I don't think we're hitting the full trend reversal. And I like to look at that at the 8-hour. So now on the daily, which I always talk about this too, you got this flat ass wave, and I'm like, oh my gosh, almost every time you see a flat wave like that, you're going to get one more pump up. You're going to get another pump up. And sure enough, we got it this morning, and this will turn green probably, at some point today, unless this wick gets all the way back down. This will probably get a green dot here unless it had one. And that's fine. But now we're starting to look at the Christmas lights, and that's where we start looking at Ethereum on the 8-hour here. So the Christmas lights, I got that from someone in the group, and I think that might have been Matt. I can't remember. Maybe it was Blockchain Cowboy. But the Christmas lights, right? Every time you get a red, okay, you got a red, you got a green, then a red, green, then a red, green, then a red. That's usually a sign of like a trend reversal, if you will, which in this case, to the downside since then. Your Christmas tree, yeah, Matt, that was you with the Christmas tree lights. And I think you're dead on about that, right? Because I was like, what does it mean? And I was like, well, it means it's going to continue. It's like another fake out, and that's kind of what happened. Look at this. Look at this candle. There was so much hope. Just it was all good a few hours ago, Look at this. Ethereum is lower. Excuse me, that's Ethereum BTC. I apologize. This is Ethereum. But Ethereum is actually, down here, damn near lower than where it started this pump. That's not good for altcoins, you see? And again, this is why short weakness, because I don't really care what Bitcoin does as far as, a pump to the upside, because if the altcoins don't buy into it, like there's like a delayed reaction in a lot of altcoins. Some of these pumps, sure they did, but I got in up here, so I'm not red, you know what I'm saying? I'm not stopped out. And again, if I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but I need to see Bitcoin make a new all-time high, really look like it's on its way there, and I'm not seeing that right now from Bitcoin. I'm just not seeing it. I'm seeing a bump up against, resistance at the top of the line here. That's kind of thing I'm seeing right now from Bitcoin. I'm seeing a more resistance line right here. Come on. Man, I don't know if you guys can hear that beat in the background, but it's a banger right now. That's the one I'm going to be rapping on. So are we almost there? Oh, it's 12:29. We almost ready to hit that banger right now. Yeah, look at Bitcoin bouncing off of this support here. It's not really getting through these wicks. This is on the 3-day chart. If we get a red dot on the 3-day, I don't know, guys. We got 4.5 hours left to see what happens on this 3-day with Bitcoin. Anyways, you guys been waiting long enough here. I think we're going to have to get into it now. I think we might have to get into this one here, y'all. This is the one y'all been waiting for right here. So shout out to everybody in the Discord group, my wave makers. You know what I'm saying? Make some noise if you a wave maker, man. If you riding your own wave, you feel me? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? We in the circle of gains, and we about to spit one right now for you. Let's go. Yeah, this is a banger. It's Cassius Cuvée. I'm on the come up. Check. Started the week hella strong. Price popped like Cuvée. Bitcoin started to flatten out and then ETH topped on Tuesday. Feeling like you just won the sweepstakes. P&L looking like deep fakes. Bags swelling up like beefcakes. It fell from 105 like the fever breaks. It seems great, but what we ran with was a scam wick that's now falling off. We was going to the moon real soon, but the market makers must have told NASA to call it off. Damn, my flow gotta change up when the trend do. I could say I'm bearish, but I don't wanna offend you. I could say I'm buying like them other dudes pretend to, but I'ma keep it real, cause that's what real friends do. If Bitcoin is the king, use the queen. I'm guessing ETH is. It ain't no triple crown, like the horse that won the Preakness. I'm going long with strong, but of course I'm short in weakness. In my next music features, you gon' see how long my reach is. Blockchain cowboy won the last contest. I'm feeling quite blessed in the wild, wild west. Blueberry with the black hat and KPLU. Matt's been going hard, I ain't even gotta tell you. Time to slow it down, now you heard all the names. These are the wave makers in the circle of gains. Yeah, you heard all the names. These are the wave makers in the circle of gains. Yeah. Make sure you like and subscribe so that way you get notified every time I drop a new show. Sunday Fun Day is to come up with Cassius Cuvée. Do you feel me? Yeah. And that's to come up with your boy Cassius Cuvée. We always got to do it big for my group there. Shout out Blockchain Cowboy. You feel me? That's how we doing it big, man. Chat, are you feeling that, man? Put some fire emojis in the chat if you feeling that one right there. It's to come up with your boy Cassius Cuvée. And we on a come up. Man, we doing big things in the Discord, man. The Discord is popping right now. You know what I'm saying? That's the circle of gains right there, man. Everybody keeps it real. We don't have no hype beasts in there. Everyone in there is a real trader. So if you guys want to join my private Discord for free, all you got to do, free for 1 year, all you got to do is create a Phemex account using my code that you see on the screen right here, GMMNX5, and then you put in your user ID number and the bot will take care of you. After that, you can sign up for the free year, man. So, man, shout out Blockchain Cowboy, shout out Matt, and we also got someone who was newer to the private group, and he's been killing it in there as well, so I had to throw him in the song. We're going to see who gets a shout out next week, but this is what we're going to do for the contest this week, all right? Anybody out there got any bars, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a channel for you guys in the Discord, and what you're going to do is if you got any bars during the week, make sure you put them in the channel, and then if they dope, I might use them in the rap for next Sunday's show. You feel me? And obviously, I give you guys credit for that. So whoever got the dopest bar, that's getting put in the song. But the dopest lines, that's what's going to get put in the song. That's the contest. So if you got bars, you got to join the Discord and make sure you drop them in there. And I'm gonna spin that straw into gold into a rap for next week's show. So anyways, man, let's do it. If you low-key be writing, Matt, drop it in there. Drop it in there. He say low-key writing. Drop them in there in the bars, and if they dope, I'm going to use them in the show. So you get to hear your lyrics come to life with your boy Cassius Cuvée. And that's how we're going to do it right there, man. So that's the contest, man. And the winner, I got to announce what the winner gets. I can't, is like this. So I got to make sure I say it in the Discord. But that's what I'm going to put it in there as well. So right after this show's over, we're going to officially write that up so you guys can hop up in there. But, yeah, man, that one right there, that beat was banging. That beat was banging right there. So I was like, I had to go hard on that one. I'm glad y'all like that one right there. Man, so next week also, I'm going to bring on my first guest next week. If I don't have any technical difficulties, that is. We're going to bring on my first guest next week. She's a superstar. So anyways, make sure you tap in. We're trying to get some more women on the channel here. I'm going to have to bring it upon myself. I need you guys to recruit your moms, your sisters, your aunties, your daughters, anybody who is a female who's into trading. Make sure you get them to tap in with your boy Cassius Cuvée for the come up every Sunday at noon. I'm going to be bringing on some female guests myself. So shout out to any ladies listening out there, because your boy Cassius Cuvée never forget about the ladies, you feel me? So I'm going to bring on my first guest ever is going to be a female, and we're going to talk to her. She's getting into crypto Bitcoin, and I'm going to see her at the Bitcoin conference. So, by the way, chat, if anybody out there is going to the Bitcoin conference, make sure you let me know. I'm going to be there doing it big, filming content. I might even shoot a little music video. I got a couple secrets I'm going to be doing. So make sure that you tap in with me if you see me there, because we're going to be doing some great content. Back to the charts real quick before we wrap this up. What tickers are strong? So we've been looking at some other tickers. Almost nothing is stronger than Bitcoin, y'all. So Tau, been one of the stronger ones. Say was stronger, kind of came back down again. Solana, I'm looking for ones. Let me zoom in. I apologize. Let me zoom in here. Let me zoom in. This is the real test here. Today is a great test. This morning is a great test. We're going to start at the top here. Tau gave everything back this morning. Say, gave everything back this morning. I'm going to go down the list. Solana gave everything back this morning. Fartcoin gave everything back this morning. Ethereum gave everything back this morning. Bitcoin's the only one so far who hasn't given everything back this morning. You feel me? Matt has his ticket. Right on, Matt. I'll see you down there. This one is strong. The one I just shorted is strong. Of course, the one I shorted is strong. Nero. Tron, not strong at all. This one a little bit stronger, you know. Shiba Inu, not stronger. And I'm looking at like when this morning started, right? That's 5 a.m. pump started. We're already lower than it. That's a bearish, relatively bearish ticker. ZK, this is another one. I'm shorting this in breakout prop. Degen shorting this, giving it back. Alice, not stronger. You see what I'm saying? You guys, I don't know. That pump, even if that pump was real for Bitcoin, it wasn't real for all these shit coins. APT back all the way down. Like they gave back everything they had in this pump this morning. That's, to me, that feels like the sign of a scam wick. Like if we look at it on a 4-hour, let's see if we can get one of these charts that's going to look like a big-ass wick. You get what I'm saying? You see that wick there? There it goes, on the 12-hour. These kind of wicks are signs of a reversal. Now, I don't mean we're going straight to the bottom or whatever like that, but it's like the bulls tried to push it, and it didn't work. You see what I'm saying? That's a lot of times a sign of, okay, that was the top. It's a dead count bounce, basically, is what it is. And that's a sign of, and it happens at every time frame, right? Like we would zoom out, we could see this on cycles, a whole cycle. You know, if you're looking at a weekly, you'll see a long-ass weekly wick on a cycle, you know? And so, you know, these are the type of things that, again, you know, Bitcoin's strong, so there's always hope as long as Bitcoin's strong. Bitcoin was red, then everything else would be going to the shitter. But, you know, these big old wicks, it's just not showing me strength, you know what I mean? And so, you know, I hope my man is out there listening. He said he saw a bull flag. He thinks Bitcoin's going all-time high. I don't know, man. You know, I just don't see it yet. Again, Bitcoin is stronger than other tickers, so it could potentially go an all-time high, and then altcoins get left in the dust. But this cycle has been Bitcoin cycle, no doubt about it. I'm just going through these, looking at these wicks right here. That's all I'm doing. This is how fast I do it, you guys. I spend more time typing it, putting it in the Discord than I do actually doing the TA. I spend more time creating content than I do. Like, I look at the charts so fast. I don't need to stare out in hell. This is the thing, you guys. Here's the thing. I've got a new video dropping. I tried to drop it last night. I just didn't have enough time. I got a new video. Someone in a comment of one of my YouTube videos asked me to make a top 10 like tips on how to trade crypto. I said, you know, that's a great video idea. So I made one. I have not released it yet. If you guys can make sure you like it. Oh, by the way, if you can like this video and share it and, you know, everything like that, appreciate it. Make a comment in it. Appreciate that. If you can like this video, remember to do that. But like when I release this video later on today, if you can like it and share it and whatnot, make a comment. But basically, it's the top 10. They're like philosophies that keep me on track when trading. After doing this for 5 years, like even remind myself about these things. And all of them are good. They're not even really in order. They're just 10 things that are very important, especially for a new crypto trader, even an experienced crypto trader, to remind themselves of, because they keep you on track when you start risking and gambling and doing things you shouldn't be doing. And when I follow these principles, it's like I always win. And when I stray from them is the only time I ever lose. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be putting that video out today. But basically, I want to just call out the fact that, like, I can't remember where I was going with it, but basically there's good stuff on there. Let me see. There was 10 things. What were the 10 things? I'm going to go over them real quick. Oh, I was going to say, someone left a comment asking me for that video, so I made the video. So that's why I always respond to who's ever in my community. So if like someone in the Discord asks me something, I'm respond to it. Someone texts me, I might say, hey, put that in a public place, and I respond to it on Twitter or in my YouTube comments. So leave a comment if there's any questions you have, or if there's anything you want me to go over. And of course, I could address it in the comment. But if it's good enough, I'll actually go and make a video like explaining it, right? So like when I had the video about showing how I did the stop losses on Breakout prop, I can show you that on Breakout prop, to stop yourself from getting so many people get wrecked in the first day. When I say wrecked, it means breached on your account. If you go below 4% in a day, then you're going to, your account gets blown up and you could start over again. It's no big deal. You don't lose as much money as if it was your $100,000. So that's what I like about it. But, I don't want you guys to get breached right away. So, use proper bankroll management and put in your proper stop losses so that way your maxing out is only 3,000 you could lose in a day. That's basically one philosophy just on bankroll management. Now, so when I release the videos, make sure you put comments in there because I'm gonna address everything that's said. So look, I'm still going down here looking for these scam wicks. Quant's got a big one, not coin. And a lot of these did not make it back up. Oh, let me go back on here. A lot of these did not make it back up to these highs here. I'm just going down these tickers. Almost everything is bearish compared to Bitcoin. Blast, that was a good one. I still got a lot of shorts open. A lot. I think we go lower. This was a strong ticker virtual. I kind of want to beat it just to beat it. This is one of those ones where I'm not following the rules. I'm shorting this just to say I beat it when it happens, but I don't have a lot of money on it, okay, guys? This one's a smaller position. Ondo is a ticker that I've been bullish on, like a longer term. It's one of those projects I actually believe in, but, price action's price action. Price is king, so, there's not much you can do about it. Oh, and in reference to the rap, I'm going to play it one more time before I get out of here, but in reference to the rap, if anybody like horse racing, if you saw the Preakness, the horse that won did not win the Triple Crown because the one who ran the first two didn't actually run in this race. So that's why I said if Bitcoin is the king, then tell me who the queen is. If that's ETH, ETH is. I said, ain't no Triple Crown like the horse that won the Preakness. So that was yesterday. So, I was writing the rap. I was like, man, the Preakness was on, and I was like, okay, no, there wasn't a Triple Crown winner. So anyways, that just came up when I was writing that rap, man. I'm always beyond the wordplay. But let's see here, man. To me, it's the same old story. You're bearish until proven otherwise and guilty until proven innocent when it comes to these tickers, man. If Bitcoin is not pushing an all-time high, I don't know what makes these go higher unless Ethereum pumps. And that's why I'm looking hard at Ethereum, and Ethereum is just not showing me strength right now, man. I mean, clearly, right, today, Ethereum is now lower. Look at this. As we sat here and talked, Ethereum is now lower than where it was on the weekend. When this pump came, we're going to the moon. And then the market makers called NASA and called it off. That's what I said in the song also. The market makers. Oh, Cassidy back in the day. Clay, I feel, Cassidy was one of my favorite punchline rappers. And I don't even download the radio songs, bro. I mean like the hit songs or whatever. I just went to like the radio shows and the mixtape songs. Cassidy was killing them. Cassidy's one of my all-time favorites. It was him and Lloyd Banks on the punchlines. My all-time favorite rapper is Big L. But Cassidy for sure was killing him. For sure. Yeah, man, we over here looking at Ethereum, and it just don't look good, y'all. And here's the thing. I usually go over, I spend more time looking at market Cipher B. But price is king, and I'm looking at price action, and what I see is relatively bearish. So you got to prove to me, right? ETH got to make a higher high. You see I have this dotted line here? This is an alert. So, okay, I will go over this. I definitely, flamboyant, hell yeah. No, Big L's my favorite. That's the man right there. So, this line right here is not a support resistance. It's an alert line. So if Bitcoin were to break this, that means it's telling me it's looking to make a new high. It's showing me strength. But what do we see here? We see, I don't draw enough pretty pictures on here. I know how to do them. But what we're seeing, I'll leave this line here. We're seeing a lower low. I mean, this is like obviously a downtrend in ETH. It certainly is. And we got to see. It's not an exact channel here, but we've got to see, some sort of strength for me to be bullish on it. ETH had its run. I mean, that's the other thing, you guys. Like, at some point, enough's enough. This ETH had it. I said that in last week's rep. ETH had the biggest candle we've seen in hella long. Shout out Andrew in the chat. Andrew, did you miss the rap? I'm going to play it again at the end. Because I had some bars in it, and that beat is banging too. We got the beat in the background right now. But ETH has got to show me something. And here's the thing. If ETH can't show me strength, almost, not all, but almost all of the altcoins, you know what I'm saying? Like most of them, if they were ever relatively weak, they're going to be worse. And again, I short weakness. Go long strength, short weakness. So even though Bitcoin flat and pump, which may or may not be a scam wick, ETH try to come down, try to pump, and it ended up being a lower low. That quick, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That quick. So I added this one little thing here. This is one other indicator. This blue, green, and blue. What is it? It's not really VWAP. It's a KC. What is this called? The Williams SR. And it's kind of just like an average movement. Basically, I just kind of look at it more or less as a guideline. I don't like having too many lines. Obviously, there's a lot of lines on the screen here. I can remove it. So let's look at this real quick. I'm going to remove this. Come on. This is the 5-day moving average, this gold line, okay? Now, we broke below it. We tried to get above it, and we shot all the way back down it again, This is the 5-day moving average. It's just not showing me strength. And Ethereum is definitely not Bitcoin. Bitcoin's kind of holding above it, going sideways with it, but this is a bad sign, you guys, for any bulls. For this to come up this far and come back down again, you see what I'm saying? Like this pump was fake, is what that means. And the thing is, even though Bitcoin still is not as low as was the other one, like the altcoins are like, nah, give me my money. I'm getting out of here. Buyers are like, oop, we were gonna maybe, nope. You get what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh, wasn't it? Nope. I mean, look at this. I'm telling you, breakout prop. I almost gave back everything to be break even. It wasn't quite break even, but now I've almost got back down to 3,000 again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, man. I feel good about it. Let me put it to you this way. I got to go for a drive later on today. I got to do some grocery shopping. Your boy likes to eat. Got to get my beach bod ready. Let's see if there's some pool parties in Las Vegas. You feel me? So I like to eat and work out and stuff. I can't stare at the charts all day, even though I kind of do. I'm like, I feel safe about these trades right now. I have stop losses. Don't get me wrong. There are stop losses, and or in the case of some of them, I have for scam wicks or something might happen. I don't know. I might have to reevaluate these, but I had these initially, like if there was a scam wick before they dropped, these might trigger. None of them triggered. So I'm just fully green on everything in breakout prop right now. But I feel like the risk is to the downside is ultimately what this comes down to. The risk, I feel, just look at ETH. The risk to me is to the downside. Could ETH, flip bullish all of a sudden and, I don't know, bounce off of this and then it come up here and then, goes like this? Sure it could. Let's say, this is what I'll do. I'll drop this. I'll draw this line a little bit farther, right? And I know, you guys, I know I don't draw a million lines on the screen. Oh, my bad. I know I don't draw a million lines on the screen here like a lot of TA guys do, and I could. I think trading mostly should be simplified. That's what I started talking about. On the top 10 video, man, like one of them is don't get paralysis by analysis. There is a million indicators. You know what I'm saying? A million of them. We go here. These are just my favorites. I've say favorite. There's a million of them if you type in, okay? What happens is you end up getting conflicting signals, and then it starts second guessing your initial plan, and then maybe I buy it. And what happens? You start flip flopping, and it almost makes you emotional, even if you're like really good at managing your emotions, And so I'm like, I kind of strip it down naked. There's so many ones, and everybody has the new one, and this is the cool one. And I'm one of those people that I'm like, oh man, I gotta study this. I gotta learn this one. This one's the holy grail, and you think every next indicator is the holy grail, and it just is like, I don't know. I've looked at a ton of them. I don't even remember how to use the strategy on all of them. There was a time when I would do it like a scientific method. I would sit there and do exactly as the guy said, and I'd watch it for a week, and then another week, and then another week, and I'm in and out of short-term trades, long-term trades. And I was just like, man, there's so many sometimes. Sometimes it works. This trend line, it'll bounce off this sometimes, and then the one time you think it's going to bounce, and it does one of these, right? You go like, oh, I'm going to bounce. And then, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know, man. But I will say sometimes something can break a trend that makes you feel like, this is what I was saying. If this one does this, hits one of these, that would start to make me believe that this is bullish. You know what I mean? But again, I'll be looking at market Cipher B at the same time to see if that move was fake or if it was real based upon like momentum waves and stuff like that. And then we also have volume and stuff down here. I'm not big on the volume, but I did put it back on here. You can't even really see it, because volume to me, it's one of those, again, it's one of those FYIs. There's a lot of data that's a FYI, but like, does this mean it was going up because I saw a big volume candle here? Does this mean it's going down because I seen a big volume candle here? What you're supposed to make it mean is that this means that the move was quote unquote a real move. Well, if that's true, then how come this one didn't go higher? And if this is true, then is this the opposite true? Is going to continue lower? I don't know, man. Volume just means a lot of money changed hands. And again, there's so many things that are like FYI information. But what ends up happening is if it's not something that tells me when to push the button to buy or push the button to sell, it becomes noise. And so I cut down all of that shit. I just got rid of all of it. And I'm focused on mostly on the momentum waves, a couple of other things. But I'm not, I do like looking at these RSIs, but I'm like, less is more. You get really, it's kind of, you know what it is, like Bruce Lee. Remember Bruce Lee says, I fear the man who practiced one punch 1,000 times more than the man that practiced 1,000 punches and a different 1,000 moves or whatever the hell it was. I got fucked that up. But he's more afraid of the man who practices one punch 1,000 times. I spend so many hours looking at these momentum waves. That's why I could kind of tell looking at this one. I was like, man, this doesn't look like, I was just thinking it, like these little silly slides and this kind of shit. I'm like, we're probably going to see another bounce in Bitcoin. Like, this is rarely have I ever seen this just do this and then like that. It usually doesn't happen. It's like this was just not strong enough. Like if it was going to happen, it would have happened on this one. And because it didn't, right, price went back up here, it made me think like, we're probably going to get a bounce on the next green dot. And this brings me, and I'll be remiss if I don't go back to my scalping strategy at least one time before I end this show. Because this is what led me to like scalping more. On the shorter time frames, you can just be more accurate, like faster. So price action is not going to punch you in the face as hard on one dot on a 10-minute wave. So, and you can do it on Breakout Prop or Phemex where you can lever up at a higher leverage amount, and then that way you can get a big move, or excuse me, a short move with a big bankroll and get in and get out, and then you get more reps also that way. But basically, like this green dot here, so let's say if you were shorting here, right? Let's say you're shorting, I got a blood diamond, you're shorting here, right? This is a good example here. Just randomly found this, right? This is Bitcoin, right? If I was shorting Bitcoin because I saw this blood diamond, I was like, yay. Then this green dot came here, right? If I tried to fight when I say don't fight the green dot, don't fight the dots. If I was like, well, that green dot might be like this green dot, and the price will it'll just be a little bump and it'll come back down. But then what happens is whoever tried to do that was wrong this time, and the price is just doing well, it'll go, and then boom, it hit this candle here. You see what I'm saying? And on a 10-minute green dot, it doesn't do it right away. You don't get punched in the face right away on a 10-minute green dot. Let's say you got out here and you kind of broke even on the trade, or maybe you lost a little bit of money depending on your exact entry. You would have probably broke even or so on this. You lived, it's fine. This candle didn't punch you in the face. That's why I say 10. That's how I landed on the 10-minute scalping strategy. Get out if you get a dot in the opposite direction. If we were going long, it would be the red dot, right? Just get out. It's not worth the risk. And you save yourself from, okay, look, I think it's going to run. Because look, someone could have thought right here, they were like, oh, the dot's going to turn red. It's going to turn red. And then boom, got punished in the face. So, and I doubt there was a red dot here on a 10-minute. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying you just get out when it's here and you wait. You wait. And then they would have got in here. Maybe they would have got in here. And it would have got, at some point between here and here, this turned green. It didn't turn green at the top. So you're cutting your losses before you get that big one in your face. That's why I like that. And then kind of on the reverse, okay, you got out here. If you got back in on this candle right here, sure, you missed the beginning of the move. But if you rode that red dot all the way down, look, it didn't even turn here. Probably, and maybe it did at one point turn green. I don't know, but it didn't. It came back down again. You know what I'm saying? Boom, you got here. So you got most of the move. And then you could have got back in, out, and then in, boom, caught it back down again. And it's a way to make small gains over time, batting singles. You know what I'm saying? Again, Bitcoin's not the ticker I'd be shorting, but that was just the example looking at the chart on the scalping, And it's just one of those things that, like, I'd rather be safe. Cassius Cuvée. shout out to my man Flopping Grover. He said Cassius Cuvée when he was on my channel. I'm like, yeah. You damn right. I put that in my last week's rap also. I don't mind being Cassius Cuvée because you got to protect your bankroll. It's the single most important thing. If you don't, look, I'll take off my glasses so I can tell you this shit. If you don't protect your bankroll, you might be out the game. You get what I'm saying? And that's what you don't want. And then you start trying to average down. No, always have an exit strategy when you have your entry strategy, you know? So we're going to look at these one more time here. This is Breakout prop. I'm now up since I started talking to you guys. I don't know where I started, but it wasn't 2,000. So I'm up 2,300 right now on this. I'm still holding. Let's take a quick glance at Phemex. I'm in too many positions in Phemex, you guys. I'm in too many. Oh, this is the one I had first got, and of course I picked the one that's like the strongest ticker. I don't know what made me do that. I just have a feeling that if everything keeps dropping, this will play catch up. It'll look like this, but in red. It'll play catch up to the downside. So I'm not nervous. I don't have a hell of a lot on it. I am in 16 positions in Phemex. I probably wouldn't recommend doing that. I got a little carried away, but like everything pretty much is green except for this one. And now I got in way too early on that Ethereum Classic. Its head is trending my way though. So, you know, I'm bearish right now. What can I say? If I'm wrong, it will be because Bitcoin decides to do the do. Bitcoin decides to do today. But this is the thing. Bitcoin was going to do the do this morning and it didn't do it. It was going to do the do this morning and it didn't do it. All right. And that's the thing, man, about scam wicks. Now, I will say this. You know, we drew that channel going down on Ethereum. Let's look at Ethereum one more time. I drew this channel right now going down, but Bitcoin ain't showing me that. But again, it don't matter. I'm not shorting Bitcoin, but listen, if Bitcoin does turn bearish, if Bitcoin does revisit a low, then the altcoins are going to tank. That's what I do know. So, you know, not financial advice. Trading has risks. Disclaimer. But it's a fact. Bitcoin made, you know, we can see it right here. This was its first low. It made a higher low. It made a higher low. We don't know where this low is going to end up. But you know, no doubt about it, Bitcoin is going like this. I just wonder if this was that, right? This was the one that everybody thought, you know, and I've seen some people on Twitter on some of my Told You shows, and they would not have been wrong if they took profit right here. If they took profit within a 30-minute time window, you know. But, you know, did they do that? Probably not if they were, you know, playing this. They're probably swinging thinking that you're going to make the next leg up to a new all-time high. Again, will it happen? Could it happen? It could. I do not know. I do like trading shorter time periods because of the fact that it's easier to determine if you were right or wrong quickly. If I am wrong and things go higher, I probably can get out of all these shorts I got before that happens because I got a lot of cushion because I started shorting them as soon as they started showing me weakness. That's really what the case is. You know, as soon as they started showing me weakness, my favorite one. This is like my new favorite one here. Oh, I wish I had gotten in this. I did get in. I got stopped the frick out right here. Because I made all this money on this one. Remember that? And I passed the eval on Breakout prop with that. Boom, it shot up right here. Look, it just, look how ugly it is. It hates going up. It just wants to go down. APT. That's the ticker, APT. Put it on your short list. It's permanently in my bearish ticker channel. Okay? All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Let me at 2 minutes to 1 here. What a great show. What a great chat. Again, congratulations to my contest winners, Kalechi from the previous week and Blockchain Cowboy this week. And give me a minute. I'm going to discuss it with you in your winnings in the Discord. Please join the private Discord. If you guys can do me a favor, you have an invite link to the Discord. Share it with people. Let's get some people in this Discord. I got great traders in there. I got real traders in there. The little gatekeep I got up keeps out the riffraff. So we got a great trading community. And I appreciate y'all, everybody who's in the trading community. Everybody supports one another, and everybody is you know, a lot of people in there are some good traders too. The people who post a lot, and the people who post a lot get shout outs in the song. So I hope you guys like hearing your name in the song. I appreciate you guys supporting me in the chat. I don't know any other Discord groups that will actually put your name in a rap. I'm just saying, but your boy Cassius Cuvée, I got you. Okay, so. Everybody, let's keep going forward. Let's keep doing what we're doing, man. Spring is almost over here. We're pushing the summer. About to be Memorial Day weekend next weekend. I think we have a pullback this week in crypto, but I'm looking at the NASDAQ on Monday. The NASDAQ will open up. The futures will open up this evening, but then the pre-market's like at 4 a.m. I'm really trying to look. Yeah, I'm dressed right, man. I'm immortalize the homies in the song, man, forever, right? And some of these songs, this song's such a banger, but I'm going to have to put these out, man. That song was banging right there. We're going to play that one more time on the way out. But You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at the NASDAQ first thing Monday, tomorrow. That's really what I'm looking at. If it fails, I have a feel like it might make a push because we had that drop. I'm going to show you the NASDAQ one more time. I feel like, to me, all eyes are on the NASDAQ. I don't think if the NASDAQ drops, Bitcoin go higher. The fact that we're even holding up this high is because the NASDAQ has been so damn strong. I mean, look at this move. This is the 8-hour chart. So that's basically the daily. The 8 hours is the same thing as the daily on the NASDAQ, right? This is the daily. Obviously, this was an epic collapse, right? This is damn near a COVID crash, right? I drew this line because I'm helping out a friend, and I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But I did tell her to take some profit. She'd been in the NASDAQ for years, and she took some profit like here. So she was thanking me, but then when we were down here, she was cursing like, oh, I should have sold more, should have sold more, should have sold more. I said, look, man, we just made back, whatever percentage of this move this is, 80% of it, you gave it back. If you wished you had taken more profit right here, then maybe you want to take some chips off the table now that we're right here. And so she did that. She wanted to take out more on Friday and didn't. So we'll see if she does on Monday. But the point is this just a dead cat bounce and we're looking at, some of this, back down like this? I think that's very conceivable. And I'll tell you why. Look at how much green that is. This was all news-driven pump. This is people mad down here. They're just like, this is straight Momo. You know what I'm saying? Especially from here to here. This is straight Momo on the news announcement of the deals and whatnot. If everything changes again, that's how fast it can move back down again. It can just drop so fast. And I'm like, my question is, what makes it come here? What makes the NASDAQ make a new all-time high? I don't know. We would need some very positive news, and I don't see it happening. Anything moves this far, this fast, I am skeptical. Look, that was a bigger move than any of these other moves, except for this one right here. So I'm like, look, if anything is due for a pullback, I hate when people say that because it went up a lot doesn't mean it's going to turn around and go down. It doesn't mean that. But I feel like all that news is baked in now. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? AVAX is dumping. Let's take a look. You said dumping like Taco Bell? Yeah. Oh, let's, hold on, my bad. Let me zoom in here. Yeah. But look, this is not much different than a lot of these other coins, right? It made a new lower low. Look, that's the same as Ethereum. Right? I mean, it's pretty much, let me go back. Let's see if Solana's doing it. Solana's dumping, right? That's what I'm saying. These scam wicks are often a sign of a reversal. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Ethereum. Ethereum just broke. Ethereum's broken, y'all. Right here in the live stream. Ethereum broke in front of our eyes. Right here. Been short on AVAX is 23.8. Let's take a look. Oh, you're good. Yeah, you're good. You've been short since up. Well, you caught. Yeah, so you caught. That was the thing. You shorted a bearish ticker. It tried to run up. It kissed your entry, it looks like, roughly, and then turned right back around. And that was that because he had already, whenever he got in, was probably about here or something. And, it just started the downtrend. This was a lower low from here, right? Clearly, it's a downtrend. You know what I mean? Everything is, I think today was the Sunday fun day. They were hoping that they're going to get some luck. And, you just can't trade off of luck, fellas and ladies. Luck is not how you trade. And again, I got a top 10 crypto tip video coming out, and there's a bonus one on there as well. I'm going to post in the group. I appreciate everybody who subscribes to my YouTube channel. I know I got a lot of new subscribers recently. A lot of people like the rap, so I appreciate y'all. I will be posting the rap again as well. But, I got more educational content coming, and it takes a long time to post all these videos and create them, but I really am I'm trying like an honest broker when it comes to this. I don't pump and dump coins. I don't do the hype meme coins. I don't do stuff that is going to get you wrecked. My passion is to keep you from getting wrecked. I love helping people make money or teaching them how to fish. But when it comes to this market, you got to be careful because you can lose it all too. And that's what I don't want to happen to folks. So yeah, Cassius Cuvée, your man Cassius. I don't care if you call me Cassius Cuvée. I'll take that as a compliment because that means we staying in the game, we survive. Remember, small wins, small losses, small wins, small losses, and then boom, you catch that big win. And then you might have a small win, small losses. All you need is those big ones to add up. And trust me, you'll survive for the longevity, and that's the key to the game. There's always a market somewhere. Crypto's 24/7, so you always going to get it like an opportunity. All right, man, I got a lot of action in the chat today. I appreciate you, Matt, and everybody else, Clay. Everybody's in the chat. Blockchain Cowboy. We got a King's mentality. Man, everybody else who was on here, let's see. I know some folks in South Africa are going to see it another day. When they wake up in the morning, I got my man Neogen. He's going to see it. He's in Greece. We got a lot of people out here who are tapping into your boy Cassius Cuvée. I like being an international player. You feel me? We're international. You feel me? So we're going to end it like that. You feel me? That's right. I see your King's mentality right there. South Africa in the house. And so we're going to play it out one time for the one time. We're going to watch these charts, man. I feel good about my shorts. I ain't scared. We ain't never scared. We ain't never scared. You feel me? I ain't never scared. And then, we always have stop loss too. Look, I'm already up to $1,000 on Phemex. So, anyways, y'all, we're going to sign off like this with the rap video one more time for the one time. Wave Makers. Shout out to the Wave Makers. You feel me? That's the name of that song, by the way. I just call it the Wave Makers. You feel me? And we in the circle of gains. So, let's get it popping, man. Have a great rest of your weekend. Peace. Yeah. This is a banger. It's Cassius Cuvée. I'm on the come up. Check. Started the week hella strong. Price popped like Cuvée. Bitcoin started to flatten out and then ETH topped on Tuesday. Feeling like you just won a sweepstakes. P&L looking like deep fakes. Bags swelling up like beefcakes. It fell from 105 like the fever breaks. It seems great, but what we ran with was a scam wick that's now falling off. We was going to the moon real soon, but the market makers must have told NASA to call it off. Damn, my flow gotta change up when the trend do. I could say I'm bearish, but I don't wanna offend you. I could say I'm buying like them other dudes pretend to, but I'ma keep it real, cause that's what real friends do. If Bitcoin is the king, use the queen. I'm guessing ETH is. It ain't no triple crown, like the horse that won the Preakness. I'm going long with strong, but of course I'm short in weakness. In my next music features, you gon' see how long my reach is. Blockchain cowboy won the last contest. I'm feeling quite blessed in the wild, wild west. Blueberry with the black hat and KPLU. Match been going hard, I ain't even gotta tell you. Time to slow it down, now you heard all the names. These are the wave makers in the circle of gains. Yeah, you heard all the names. These are the wave makers in the circle of gains. Yeah. Make sure you like and subscribe so that way you get notified every time I drop a new show. Sunday Fun Day is to come up with Cassius Cuvée. Do you feel me? Yeah.